I would say like your standard 120 volts that is coming from your wall outlet, charging your phone or your computer
Mhm.
every day for the past decade.
That
Like,
that's a way higher number than I expected.
you you were expecting, I don't know, like 5 or 6.
Well, I was
Uh,
thinking like maybe like yeah, maybe tens or dozens of times. Welcome to Tell Me About It. This is the show where I interview various professionals to gain insight into their daily lives on the job. I am your host, Josiah Smith, and today I've got a very special guest. This is Stuart Tow. We were talking before starting recording. We're going to say he's an electrician, but there's, I think, a little more to it than that. Um, Electrician by trade, and yeah, and so we'll see what he has to tell us. So, Stuart, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and give me a quick 2-minute elevator pitch of your job and what you do, and then we'll go from there.
uh, I'm a wizard that controls where electricity goes safely. Uh,
Okay.
no, so electrical is a cool trade because you can do one of 100 things. It's pretty great. So currently, I'm a journeyman electrician in multiple states, but right now I'm in Washington State and it's very wet. I've been here a few months. I'm from the desert, so I'm kind of learning things are a little different. Systems are different, protections are different. So yeah, it's been pretty fun. But specifically me, I my focus coming up has been mostly commercial, working in stores and mines and like factories and schools and that kind of stuff. So that's just kind of a different flavor than wiring in your house. And currently, I'm mostly doing uh, backup generators, EV backup battery systems, and then house remodels, rewires, safety, that kind of stuff.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And how long? I know you say you've been in Washington for just a few months, but how long total have you been doing electrical work?
I think I'm on year 12,
Oh, okay.
12 or 13. Ruth. Yeah, my daughter's 10, so yeah, probably like right at like 12 years.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Um, Tell me about the education, certifications, trainings that you have that were required for your job, and if they weren't required, tell me what was helpful.
So every state is different, and then there's a couple different camps in that where you can join a union, like the IBEW Electrical Union. It's a nationwide thing. They have groups, I forget what they're called, groups everywhere that you would join. They have their own like apprenticeship programs. A lot of times they have their own schooling that goes with that. The state I came up in was New Mexico. They don't require any school to get a journeyman license. You just got to work for 4 years.
Okay.
And if you can work for 4 years and keep a job, you're probably pretty good. And then you just
Mhm.
got to pay some money and pass a big boy test.
Okay.
Uh, I have a 2-year degree in electrical technology, which is what it is. It's probably like a really good base layer if you're going to be an electrician. It'd probably be like a really good introductory level if you were thinking about like electrical engineering,
Okay.
but doesn't kind of delve into that deep deep area.
Yeah.
So whenever I wanted to transfer to Washington, they they do 4-year trade schools up here. So I kind of had to, you know, show them that one, I did have the prerequisites. It's just we did more hours and less years, that kind
Hmm.
of stuff. So every state's going to be different. But the prep stuff that I did with my program is you start simple. This is basic safety, basic tools. You elevate to like this is wiring outlets and switches. Then you before long you're doing like programmable logic controllers, which is essentially like really big boy versions of like an Arduino, where you're running entire factories from a tablet or laptop or something.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of cool stuff, but it's it's one of the trades that's so broad that you can spend 20 years focusing on some little niche in there.
Yeah.
So we have guys that are fiber optic technicians. We have linemen, we have network engineers, network techs, industrial cell towers. Like there's so many different kind of avenues you can go do.
Yeah. Are you considered are you in work for yourself, or do you work for a electrical company?
So I owned a company back in New Mexico, and I just kind of got, I got sick of being hot. So
Sure.
uh, I looked at the rules, and I couldn't like move my company to Washington or Idaho. I'm licensed in both of those states, and they would both be good for the climate that I was after. I couldn't just move my business, right, because of the rules. And
Uh-huh,
so if you're a journeyman in either of these states, you got to work for another company for a couple years, kind of pay your dues. They know you're not just some fly by nighter who's gonna, do some work and screw some people over and then leave.
and then leave, yeah.
So I work for a company called Sound Electrical Contractors in Port Angeles, Washington, and it's a small company. It's me and two other guys, but it's been really good. And I think it was a one man company 9 months ago, and he picked up another an O2, which is a residential journeyman, and they started kind of bouncing ideas, and it just kind of went out. So I get here, and immediately we get like a van and load it up with tools and pack out and like all this stuff. So
Yeah.
there's some pretty cool like growth opportunity. And I
Mhm.
mean it's business. I kind of got sick of running the business, so I'm cool with letting somebody else take that role and me just kind of doing what I like to do, which is the electrical work.
Yeah.
Take paperwork out of the equation. Um, I like to just kind of deal with customers and the troubleshooting, figuring out problems, how to make people's houses safe, or help you with backup power. Up here, the power goes out pretty regularly, so that's a pretty good, pretty good avenue to be in.
Yeah, yeah. So back up a little bit when you were talking about, the first, like, period of work that you have to do before you take the big boy test.
Yeah,
I think you said New Mexico was 4 years of work? Is that what you said?
pretty
Or in
much,
Washington?
pretty much everywhere. It's 8,000 hours of
Okay.
on the job training.
Okay.
So
And what
how
does
that
that
works?
look like? Is that you holding the
Yeah.
flashlight for a licensed electrician, or are you
It depends on how honest your journeyman is,
Okay,
honestly. There's jokes in the trade about like if somebody's not a very good electrician, the joke is that they just paid a contractor to sign on their hours,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
So, until I don't know, it's probably been like the past 15 or so years. That's all it was. It was just somebody vouching for you
okay.
and you paying the government a fee. And they're like,
Gotcha.
"Great, here's your license."
Yeah.
Um, Now they have these kind of auditing protocols, depending on the state you're in,
Mhm,
where if, say, you want to be an electrician, I sign off on your hours. You never worked for me. I don't know if you know what you're doing. But then you go burn a house down.
mhm.
They're going to go back and say, like, who signed off on this guy's hours? And then they're going to come after me.
Mm.
So then I'm responsible. So it's kind of nice. It's another set of checks and balances that kind of keeps people. I don't know about keeps them honest, but there's some accountability that like you're if you do some kind of shady stuff, there's going to be consequences,
Yeah.
which I'm actually pretty big on.
Right, right. So who is like the governing body? Is that like what government department are you accountable to?
So that's another weird one. Is every state has their own. So in New Mexico,
Okay.
it's like RLD. Um, Here, there's I think again, I'm still new. Here we have multiple agencies. Like the town I work in, they have their own inspectors. They
Hmm.
have their own like special rules. And then you drive like 4 miles up the road, and it's like, okay, now you're in the county, and
Mm.
things are a little differently. So it's all kind of down to where you're at. Certain Most of the time, like with the code cycle, our rules change every 3 years. A state will say, okay, we run a cycle back,
Mhm.
like New Mexico. I think Arizona's in 2020.
Okay.
Uh, so New Mexico's in 2020 until 2026 comes out, and then they'll be in 2023. One cycle back.
Oh,
Some
okay.
states are like every county is in a different different
Oh
code cycle,
gosh.
and yeah, it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It's like nobody's gonna remember all of that.
So you have to do like pre-research before every job you go to make sure you follow the rules. It's
Yes and
what you're
no.
supposed to do.
Like some people that would try to like cheap out on the job.
Mhm.
wood. So the kind of very simple and beautiful rule about like electrical as a business and as like in practice is you can always do better, but you can never do worse.
Okay.
So you can always be more up to date as far as the rules, but you
Okay.
can't go back. So
Yeah.
like if your state's in 2020, I can absolutely build things to 2026 code,
Okay, yeah.
but I can't build things to 2017 code.
Right, okay.
So it's pretty easy if you my kind of thing. I'm a big code nerd. I like the rules. So
Mhm.
a big thing with me is as soon as a new code book comes out, I get it. I tear through it, and that's how I do things now.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't I don't want to remember where I can get away with doing less. I'd rather just whatever my service is to the customer, like the best way to serve them is to give them the most up to date, safest kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, so you kinda talked a little bit about it's a three-man company. How much do you work with those other guys? Like, do you go to jobs together, or do you fly solo on your jobs that you're at?
It kind of just depends. So
Okay.
today the it was the owner and myself, and we because it was a pretty big job.
Mhm.
I mean, big is a hard scale because sometimes big job means 3 months.
Right.
So this was just a 1 day job, but picking up some pretty heavy equipment, hanging stuff on a wall, getting on a roof by yourself is kind of
Yeah.
sketchy.
Yeah.
So it was a 2 man job today. Sometimes it's, hey, there's a lady out here. Here's um, her work order. Here's what we got to get going. You're going to be there, say, what, Tuesday.
Mhm.
Get it done, and
Yeah.
that's great too. I like both situations. It's good to kind of rib and have fun throughout your project.
Yeah.
Uh, but sometimes it's good to just put the headphones in, put on some heavy music, and just focus and work.
Right. So, like, over the course of your career, how do you go about or can you have any examples of, like, you're on a job with another person and things go really well versus you're on a job with another person and you're having to, like, correct their work or they're not good at it? How often does that happen, and what is that interaction like? Talk about prior work, I don't want you
Yeah,
to
yeah. Throw my current
new
buddies under the
company.
bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I will say that's a pretty big reason that I signed up with this company is it wasn't a quick fly by night decision. We had talked uh, extensively for months about ethics, most of all, and
Okay.
it's like the right thing is the right thing.
Yeah.
Like any Joe Schmo can do some work that's up to code. Doesn't mean
Mhm.
it's the right thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I've definitely worked with some companies that were not great,
Mhm.
and I've worked for some pretty good companies. Never ones that were like long term that I'm like, man, I really want to be here forever.
Yeah.
But bad jobs are a contractor I worked for, no names, but kind of just had buddies. Like he would hire his buddies,
Mhm.
and they got paid well, and everybody else got paid less, even though
Uh,
there's no like hierarchy of skill or training or whatever,
mhm.
and that's kind of a huge bummer.
Yeah.
So that's something to watch out for if anyone was considering a career in electric. Is just be careful who you trust.
Yeah.
Contractors, I feel like kind of the boomer and a little bit of the Gen X era of contractors. It was a big like, what can I? How little can I pay you? How how short can I have you work until we're caught up before I lay you off? Kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
like it's really, I don't know. It's kind of really money grubby
Yeah.
and just trying to get use out of you before never seeing you again.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of enjoyed watching some millennials and even younger people start businesses that
Yeah.
are like, what if I don't do that?
Right.
What if we just take care of people and pay people what they're worth, but charge more?
Yeah.
If your product is better, it's worth more. It's not
Right.
competition of who can be the cheapest.
Right. Right.
So, some other contracting things that I've worked for is before I had a license. This is a big one. Is there's a rule about states have the rules, and there's like a national rule about how many unlicensed people can work with one licensed person. So it's like
Okay.
one journeyman. I think the union just changed it, but it's like 1 to 2. Like one journeyman can work with two apprentices.
Okay.
That's it. So like they're getting some attention. I think when I started, it was like five,
Mm.
like 1 to 5, and that's kind of gone down because I think a lot of people were just sending apprentices to go to work.
Yeah.
And I've worked for some companies like that they'll load up four, 18 to 24-year-old kids with no licensure and say, "Here, build the thing."
Yeah.
And now with all the insurance, bonding, money stuff that I've dealt with, I'm like, "That's insane."
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
absolutely nuts. But yeah, it's all down to like trust, and
Yeah.
trust really, it shouldn't be like what's like gate kept, but it also shouldn't just be freely given to anybody that'll pay you. You
Sure.
know, it's something where like discernment really is important.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about that trade path. So your apprenticeship, journeyman, is it master? Is that after journeyman? Master electrician?
Yeah, that's a good term. Again, it kind of varies by state.
Okay.
So my path in New Mexico, I'm a contractor. We don't
Okay.
have a actual title called master electrician.
Oh, okay.
You go as an apprentice. Once you have X amount of hours and any kind of training, you go take a test. You're a journeyman. That's great.
Mhm.
Uh, that means that you can work on whatever you're licensed for. So there's like an New Mexico has an ER1, which is a residential journeyman. You can wire a house. You can troubleshoot at a house. Great. Can't step foot in a Walmart
Mm.
to fix
Okay.
something
Yeah,
because you're
okay.
not licensed.
Yeah.
Then they have an EE98J, which is a real, like, I don't want to say real journeyman. That sounds mean, but you're a journeyman with a higher level of license where you can do the residential stuff, but you can also do commercial, industrial, anything like that.
Yeah.
And then they just have an add-on uh, test bonding. You start a business, you prove that you have all this stuff in place, and then you get a uh, EE98, which is a contractor's license. So you got
Okay.
to be a journeyman to get a contractor.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
up here, what I've noticed that's very different is you got to go to 4 years of school and work 4 years. Most of the time it'll be like sandwiched like that.
Uh-huh.
But once you've met that, you get a journeyman's license. Same thing. You can get a residential or one that you can do everything. The thing is, here is a lot of guys will get a journeyman, and then their wife will go take a test for something called an administrator, and you got to have those to have a business here. So you don't have like a contractor's license because you're a journeyman.
Okay.
You have a journeyman license, and then you have to partner with a administrator.
Oh, interesting.
So there's like it's a two-party thing that you got to have
Yeah.
two people involved. I think a lot of people will have both, but I don't know. It's kind of a strange new thing for me where I'm like, you what? Your
Yeah.
wife's the contractor? That's cool.
It's like had to be.
Yeah, but
Huh.
it's a most places it's going to be the same basic trajectory. Like you're going to get some training, you're going to do some school, you're going to do a lot of on the job training, you're going to do your grunt work. Like
Mhm.
nobody wants to go dig in the rain, but that's what you're here for.
Yeah.
Once you're good at this, guess what? Then we're going to put you in pulling wire in the house. Once you get good at that, then you're going to start making up panels. Once you're
Yeah.
good at that, you're going to start, you're just going to trajectory up and up and up.
Yeah.
And
And just
before
build
long, you're
one
messing
thing
with
on
big,
another.
scary voltage and a hazmat suit thing, and it gets big real quick.
So is the difference between like the residential and the commercial, is it the amount of power that's coming into the building, or is it just the scale of the project that is like the dividing line between residential and commercial?
It's kind of a both and
Okay.
neither. There's a so standard like residential services are Americans use the word single phase. It's not single phase. Single phase is what they have in Europe. We have something
Okay.
called split phase, right?
Okay.
So essentially, we have 240 volts from line to line, but 120 with a neutral tapped in the middle. So
Okay.
it's 120 volts to all your outlets, your
Mhm.
lights, or whatever. Or you can grab both legs for 240 for your bigger stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fine. It's not single phase though.
Yeah.
A lot of commercial is still single phase. It's just a commercial. Usually, it's down to like the materials used to protect the electrical systems.
Okay.
So in a house, you've seen this. In a house, you got like some yellow wire in your walls or some
Uh-huh.
white wire, and now we have purple and pink and all kinds of stuff. Uh, those wires are in a plastic jacket.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. It's not in
Yeah.
a metal pipe protecting it.
Yeah.
It's just in your wall. It's fine for what it is, but in the commercial space, there's just way more different ways of protecting your conductors and equipment.
Mm.
It also means that they're much more stringent on the rules. There's fire marshals that come through. You get electrical inspections. You get efficiency tests. A lot of the
Mhm.
time, those are things that are kind of required depending on your organization.
Mhm.
So I worked for a school, and it was like, regularly you would have somebody come test transformers. And
Mhm.
if privately owned transformers are starting to be inefficient, they got to be upgraded.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it's not the really amount of power. There is usually more power available in a commercial site than in your house. Nobody's going to have, you know, 1200 volts in your house. It's
Right.
it's all going to pretty standard be 120 240.
Yeah.
Um Most of the time in the commercial space you're going to have the same thing like 120 for normal outlets, but it'll be a three phase. So you'll have 208 volts between your lines. It gets real nerdy real quick, so we don't have to go down that
No, no, I like it. Get as technical
road.
as you like.
But yeah, I mean, it's just different systems that work for different things.
Okay.
Usually, like the easy way to describe like amount of power is if voltage goes up. It sounds scarier, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. More voltage is more painful,
Sure.
but as voltage goes up, amperage goes down.
Okay.
So if you have bigger, scarier power, it's also way more efficient.
Okay.
So every Walmart or big box store that you go into usually has 277 volts by 480 volt three phase,
Mhm.
which runs all of their lights because lights never turn off.
Mhm.
As we just talked about, if you have a bunch more voltage, your current goes down. So it's
Yeah.
actually cheaper to run higher, scarier voltages.
Interesting.
And the use case is better too for equipment. If you're running a bunch of equipment that's gonna pull a lot of power, the way to alleviate that is to just have a higher voltage.
Yeah.
So those are the things that exist in commercial, but it's not necessarily like all commercial has 480 three phase.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
yeah, mostly just kind of different use case. And the big thing about like the commercial space is like who has access to commercial space a lot?
Mhm.
Everybody.
Right.
And we got to protect the people who can't keep their hands to themselves, kind of thing.
Right.
Um, randoms. If we had like in Walmart just cord hanging or like Romex, like it's in your wall, somebody's gonna do something dumb at some point and hurt themselves.
Right.
So gotta have everything in a pipe or some kind of barriers in place. It's just to you know protect the general public, protect the equipment, and keep make it harder for people to do something dumb.
For accidents to happen. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then let's talk about your specific job. Kind of paint a picture of what it looks like day to day, the minutia of your job. So when I hear electrician, where my mind goes is like guy pulls up in a van and there's like all kinds of in a cool way, not in like a creepy way. Pulls up in his
Uh,
in a van and there's all kinds of like cables and tools and stuff and he hops out and he looks like he knows what he's doing and he runs in and starts pulling wire, I think was the phrase that you used before.
right.
um is that you? Is that what you do or is
It's a
yours
hundred
a lot
percent me
more?
now. I'm from the Southwest, so it doesn't rain
Yeah.
there. So I always drove a truck.
Okay.
I hate vans. That's dumb. Vans are stupid. I now live in a place where it rains like 9 months a year, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, vans are the best thing in
Vans
the
are awesome.
world. So I mean, it's been cool transition, and another cool thing about like trades in general is if you're a person who likes tools, it's like you were a kid who was obsessed with Lego when you were small.
Mhm.
And now we have like all of the toolboxes like click together, like Milwaukee and Makita and DeWalt, and everybody's making these.
Yeah.
So a cool thing we got to do is like build the van to have the storage for all the stuff. So we've got like pack out stuff mounted on the walls of this van, and there's
Mm.
like racks full of breakers. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to just throwing my parts in the back of the truck because I'm not worried about them getting wet.
Right.
And that's just a different world up here. So
Yeah.
yeah, the van thing is new for me, but I'm getting used to it.
But it's fun. Are you a Milwaukee guy or is it, do you care?
I am a Milwaukee guy when it comes to power tools.
Okay.
Uh, Not to speak too badly, I'm not a big fan of their hand tools that they started making. I
Okay.
tried.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Not for you. Okay.
I try not to have too much allegiance, but after you, if you go purchase like $1,000 worth of batteries,
Uh-huh.
you're probably just gonna use those tools forever.
Just use
You're
that.
you're not
Right.
you're not gonna like, I need a battery for my one Makita tool, and then another battery for my DeWalt, and another battery for my
Yeah.
nobody's doing that. Um, I like Milwaukee because they make kind of specific electrician tools that nobody else makes.
Oh, okay. Like what? Give me an example.
So Milwaukee actually makes have you ever seen it's a weird thing, a fish tape? It's a big roll of metal tape that's like 250 foot long,
Okay.
and you like unwind it and push it into the pipe. And you can
Okay.
push, so yeah, you can push a like 200 feet through a pipe, get it to the other end, you tape your wire off, and then you pull it in, and that's how
Oh,
you get
sure.
wire into a pipe.
Yeah.
Milwaukee makes one that you like put the end of the fish tape in, and you hit a button, and it pushes it like 200 feet. You tie on your tape, and then you hit a button, and it pulls the wire back.
Nice.
It's like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I do not really for money, or professionally, but I like to do small electronics for fun.
Mhm.
Milwaukee also makes like some battery powered soldering irons and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
that's
I've been
cool.
able to use that just for my own stuff, and like, oh hey, I'm out in the woods, but guess what? I need to build a guitar pedal or whatever the thing is. You can. um, but yeah, it's the best use case for me. Uh, Everybody's gonna have their own. I think that a lot of like, I'll use the word pretentious, but not in a mean way. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
that also. A lot of carpenters and like really good woodworkers are doing like Festool, and that's like
Okay.
the new like baller tool.
Yeah.
Um, it's like a really cool brand, and we're talking like a $900 drill and a
Okay. Yeah.
$7,000 like
Ultra
router table.
premium.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild. And I people have the same outlook on like Milwaukee as I do on Fist. I can't believe somebody would spend that much money on a drill.
Right. Right.
And for me, I'm like, that drill's made me a ton of money.
Right.
Where I'm like, man, I can't believe somebody would spend that much. And these people are probably making custom tables for like 30 grand.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why. That's why you spend that
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that drill.
That checks out a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, paint a picture for me then. Let's say it's a random Tuesday and you get a job assignment. Walk me through walk me through like a day on the job. What's it look like? What are you seeing? What kind of tools are you using? Um, get into the details. What's it look like?
Yeah, I can walk you through like my Thursday today.
Sure.
So if you walked outside of your house and you looked at the wall, you're somewhere outside, you're going to see where your utility power comes in and hits a meter, and that
Mhm.
tells the utility company how much money to charge you, right?
Yep.
So the utility, uh, P&M, there's a bunch of them across the states. They own all the wire up to your meter. And then from that place on, it's going to go to your distribution to a panel, uh, somewhere in your house, or sometimes it's at the same spot. So that's all yours. And that's
Mhm.
your investment to take care of.
Mhm.
So today, a lot of the older houses from, I think in the 90s they started updating, but like say let's just say like the year 2000 and back, they're going to have a smaller service because not as much there wasn't as much equipment.
Mhm.
Now your fridge has X on it that you can tweet from or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
It's just nuts. So I mean, the amount of power that's being used, while things have actually gotten a little bit more efficient, we have so much more of it that
Mhm.
we need more power in every house.
Yeah.
So today I did a 100 amp to 200 amp service upgrade, which
Mm.
if you have more current, you need bigger wire.
Yeah.
So the whole thing from where the utility connects got ripped off the wall. We put a new one in with up to date, up to code modern breakers that are required now, which is kind of great, but it's also there's no way out cheap anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Even when I started, you could go, you know, by and large, you could go buy a couple breakers for like $10,
Mhm.
direct swap for what you got and fix your problem. Not anymore, you know,
Mm.
like on sale at Home Depot or whatever. One of these modern breakers can be like 80 to like $400.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's wild. And it's now required if we do new install. Like if it's a bring it up to code or we're doing a new install of something, it has to be up to code.
Yeah.
If you're fixing something, like there's some wiggle room, but really you should probably just try to, again, like I said earlier, just bring it up as best you can to take care of things for longer.
Mhm.
So for starter, I have a nice 5-inch Milwaukee bandsaw. As soon as the utility cut their power disconnected, that way I don't die.
Yeah.
Cut a big piece of rigid 2-inch steel pipe, get all the stuff, all the wire out of there, threw it off the roof, came down, ripped all the old equipment off. Then I used an oscillating cutter to cut the wall nice so that we can actually get it flush to like the supports. It's not
Mhm.
just going to be sitting in like some siding and
This is on the
maybe
outside of
fall
the
off.
house?
It's on the outside of the house, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Um, yeah, another one, another freebie, another modern code that is required now is a form of disconnect on the outside of every house.
Okay.
So that makes sense. A off
Yeah.
switch.
Yeah,
So
the big handle
yeah,
switch.
so it
Yeah.
can be a breaker or something, but there has to be a way to turn off your whole house
Uh-huh.
outside your house.
Okay.
And that's like I guess it's to do with like fire code stuff where if firemen show up to your house and your house is on fire and it's an electrical fire, they can turn it off.
Yeah.
Or even if it's not an electrical fire, they can turn off the power. That way, there's not any problems with like dangerous wires floating around, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this morning, ripped the whole thing off. Once you get it all down and cleaned up, then this old panel was on the inside of the house and our new one was on the outside. So
Mhm.
we have some connectors to protect the wires going from inside the house to outside the house. Get all those wires refed. Then you got to
And when you
do
say
some.
all those wires refed, are you talking, like, all the way
Sorry.
to every outlet in the
No, no,
house?
no, no. So essentially, like, say your starting point would be the panel, and your ending point would be like your outlet. So a receptacle, a
Okay.
switch, a light, whatever.
Yeah.
So just at the panel, all those wires come out of the old panel, and then we put the new one up outside. Put some
Okay.
ways to get into the panel from inside the wall.
Gotcha.
Those new wires go through there, and then that's how you get all those terminated on that side.
Gotcha.
So once we get done with that, we go through and figure out you're going to use your code book to figure out what size of breakers you're going to need for these circuits based on the size of the wire.
Okay.
And so I actually have to go back tomorrow and label the panel, which
Mhm.
sounds like, oh, okay, write in Sharpie on the thing. It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So we go through the whole house and like verify all the outlets
Mhm.
first, make sure they're all correct because this isn't like a complete rewire. This is just a service.
Mhm.
So we're using some wire from the 80s,
Right.
but they're protected by more modern equipment.
Right.
So is it is it going to be fine? Absolutely. Is it like
Yeah.
the best, safest thing it could be? No.
Yeah.
So that's where the price thing you kind of get into that.
Yeah, yeah.
So then basic hand tools for like termination would be big wires. You're going to need like a torque wrench.
Mhm.
Yeah, just a torque wrench because every wire connector is going to have a torque spec. Even on your
Okay.
outlet switches, they have a torque spec.
Okay.
So you're going to use a torque wrench. A lot of the big ones will be like 250 inch pounds.
Mhm.
Once you get your or click, whatever kind of thing you're using, great, you're tight enough.
Okay, yeah.
Get that. We put all of our new breakers in. Every wire gets kind of isolated, every circuit. So you know, okay, this goes with this. Um, like I said, more modern stuff. Modern circuits require arc fault and ground fault protection way more than they have ever. So if you walk in your bathroom or your kitchen, it doesn't matter if it's from the past 40 years. There's going to be a GFI there, right?
Yep.
A
Yeah.
ground fault circuit interrupter. It's got a button on it for resetting. Great. Um, Most of the time we do that at the breaker now, so that you don't have to
Okay.
go find a receptacle sitting somewhere to push a button to turn the
Yeah.
thing back on.
Yeah.
I like it so much better because it's just easier. But the other thing is something called AFCI, arc fault circuit interrupter, and
Mhm.
it's a different kind of protection. It's going to be reading your wires, making sure they're doing the right thing, looking for
Mhm.
problems before there are problems,
Mhm.
and those are required everywhere.
Mm.
So the rule is if it's accessible, it needs to be arc fault protected.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, just walk around your house sometime and look at outlets. If you can touch it, that's accessible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that means got to be an arc fault protected circuit, which is just money. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing with customers, especially older people. It's like, well, it didn't used to cost this, and I'm like, yeah, that's true.
You're correct.
You are correct. And that's why I like to carry my one of these right here. So this is our code book.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
So this is 2026. So I am up to date. But yeah, that tells you all the rules of what we have to follow. But as far as say like basic hand tools that you need for the job I did today, like a number two Robertson square head screwdriver, a lot of breakers, that's the screwdriver of choice for those.
Okay.
Uh, Small flathead insulated, a lot of grounding buses where all your ground wires go will just be flatheads.
Okay.
Um, some strippers, you're going to need some wire strippers to get your wires stripped and put into the breakers. And that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like for a lot of troubleshooting jobs, I will carry like an 11 in 1 screwdriver, a pair of strippers, and a multimeter,
Mhm.
and that's it. With
Okay.
those three
Yeah.
things, you can not only figure out what the problem is if you know what to look for,
Mhm.
but also you just have the tools to fix it.
Yeah.
Um, I always have a Milwaukee Impact with a Phillips 2 bit on it. That's general use bit that can get into most things.
Mhm.
But there is some like cool, fun, fancy tools.
Mhm.
That's not an everyday thing.
Okay.
Um,
What is like the and I understand that this is different for every electrician, but like how much in your career have you worked on like someone calls in and says, "Hey, when I plug my blender in, it doesn't blend and it's not the GFI. Come fix it." You know, like come fix that outlet versus
yeah,
what you just described of like this is a project. Like we have to upgrade this whole
yeah.
system. Have you done both of those things or do you tend to have always worked like the bigger I'm upgrading this whole house type of project?
I vastly prefer, for more than one reason, and one of them is selfish. Okay,
Okay.
I vastly prefer like completely let me rewire your house with all new wire because one, let's be honest, I'm gonna make a lot more money.
Sure.
Like I
Yeah.
love that. Like I
Yeah.
like money,
Yeah.
but really like on par with that is it is just way safer
Yeah.
depending on the age of your house. Like if your house was built between 1968 and 1972, it's going to have aluminum wiring because all the copper was going to make brass for the war.
Oh, huh.
That's just history.
Yeah.
So aluminum has a lower melting point than copper.
Mhm.
So they didn't think about that as far as like maybe we should size them bigger. They just started making wire on the spools out of aluminum.
Mhm.
So the problem with aluminum wiring, it's not that it like aluminum wiring is bad. We still have modern aluminum wire that we use that's fine.
Mhm.
The problem with it is you have to upsize,
Mm.
right? So any of these houses from the late 60s, early 70s that have been, we use the term band-aided, right?
Mhm.
People put, oh, well, we put different breakers. Okay. You know, you just end up uh, like putting a band-aid on it for a while and it's not really fixing anything.
Yeah.
Um, but it happens a lot where somebody goes and buys a house and it's like, yeah, all the electrical works, and then they start having problems. Then we come look at it, and it's like, yeah, it's a new rewire. It's like this much money, and we say a number that just makes them like poop their pants, and it's, so like every tradesman is the bad guy at some point
Sure.
because of somebody's situation like that.
Yeah.
And really, it's down to, it's like it's not us. It's, yeah, we are at a point where it's just basic economics. Like if the supply of good electricians or plumbers or HVAC technicians or data technicians
Mhm.
is low and the demand is high, the price goes up. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with me like thinking that you're a big jerk and I want to charge you more money. It's
Yeah.
like,
You're
no,
you're not
it's
looking
just,
for a sucker, you're
no,
just
it's just math.
Yeah.
Like most, it's, that's another cool thing about like the millennials of just like kind of throwing aside this thing is there's a something called the Nika standard, and it's like a nationally like put together thing about like the amount of time it takes to do basic things
Mhm.
for like a good person
Mhm.
and the cost of that.
Mm.
So you can literally like I think like Chat GPT does it, and you could be like, okay, I have these many things, like what should it cost? And it'd be like, okay, electricians charge this much at this time to do these things, it should be about this much.
Yeah.
And here's like the price of the parts at local retailers near you.
Yeah.
And it's just math. Like
Yeah.
it is no longer like a guessing game or like gambling. Like I really liked when I was running my business, I like to do bid work where somebody says how much to do the job.
Mhm.
And I look at the job and I say, I think I can do it for this much.
Yeah.
And if they accept the bid, they accept the bid. It doesn't matter if it takes me 2 hours, it takes me 50 hours. The price
Right.
is the price.
Yeah.
I like that because that was kind of fun. It was
Yeah.
like bid. And one, you learn a lot about, because essentially you're betting on and against yourself,
Yeah.
which is kind of an interesting thing to have to do. But, if I say, I think in my brain, I'm not going to tell a customer this because I'm
Yeah.
bidding it.
Right.
I think I could do it in 10 hours and I'm this amount of money per hour. Here's my price.
Yeah.
If it takes me 6 hours, those extra 4 hours is just profit.
Right.
I get to go home early and I get to make extra money.
Mhm.
And there's always that kind of attitude that's like, well, you finished faster than you thought. Shouldn't you charge less? And I'm like,
Right.
if it took me longer, should I charge more?
Right.
Well, no, exactly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't go both ways.
Right.
I was like, we can play that game if you want to.
Right.
Um, a lot of my experience is the hourly rate thing usually costs more
Okay. Yeah.
because most of the time, especially non-construction people, like they don't know the right questions to ask.
Right.
So somebody like me shows up and we have talked about what they want, and they, oh, my cousin told me that you guys can put like an RV plug too. Can you add that? Because then now people like me are like, okay, that's called a change order.
Right.
Change orders are bad. You don't want. I mean, we love change orders. A lot of one of my old teachers at trade school used to call them a license to print money.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want us to finish this project and add this? All right, well, here's the cost of the change order.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, we love that. Depending on the job, if it's like, hey, can you like add a light switch? That's not like as big a deal as, hey, can you add a generator?
Right.
So but yeah, it's fun. It's just different people are going to do business different ways. But the way I was doing business, I kind of see as like going out. Uh,
Yeah.
Most people now are just they'll have Chat GPT, have an Excel spreadsheet, and it's like you just input the things that the customer is asking for, and it's gonna approximate time based on, like, the national average.
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's on the one hand, it's like
Has that made it difficult in some cases? Because,
I
like,
mean,
now your
for me,
customer's
it
a little
is.
more informed possibly, right? And they're like, "I don't think that it should take you that long. I don't like that."
Okay,
Yeah, and you're like, "Okay, find a guy
right,
who will do it for that."
right, and I mean, that's the thing about it is, it really comes down to attitude.
Yeah.
You can hire whoever you want, it's your house.
Yeah.
Certain contractors are gonna have I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. If you've seen like HVAC and plumbing and electrical vans or whatever,
Yeah.
uh, they'll have their business name and their phone number, and then what? Does it say anything else?
Like, licensed, bonded, insured on there?
Thank you very much. See that? This is important. Licensed, licensed and bonded, licensed, bonded, and insured are three very different things.
Okay.
So, in this goes by state. A bond, a bond is not for you.
Okay.
If I'm doing business and you hire me, a
Uh-huh.
bond is not really for you.
Okay.
Insurance is for you. So, in order to start a business in some states, you need a $250 bond.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow.
That does not help you if
No.
I burn your house down.
Right.
So yeah, those are three very different things. So if somebody's truck says licensed and bonded, and some other guy says licensed, bonded, and insured, and the guy with insurance is like 3 grand more, yeah,
That's why. Yeah.
that checks out.
Yeah.
You know, insurance is a big deal, and depending on the kind of work you're doing, there's some rules about that where some places you have to have like 10% of the total bid job worth in cash before that you can even sign up for it.
Oh,
Say
wow.
it's a $1 million job, you got to have 100 grand cash to put up as a private bond on that job.
Wow.
So I mean, that's just money that contractors have to have.
Uh-huh.
They can't use. They have to have it to get more work.
Interesting.
So all of the stuff that I'm the same way with like mechanics. Oh, these mechanics charge an arm and a leg. Of course they do.
Right.
You idiot. You're not
Yeah.
fixing your own car.
Right.
Uh with plumbers, with all these guys, like I've had to learn really hard not to just whine about it because
Yeah.
it's not just wow, you think you're worth this much an hour.
Yeah.
All you got to do is start a business, and you will find out very quickly that that is not how anything works.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, I have to pay for my phone, I have to pay for my internet, I have to pay for advertising if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, everything costs money,
Yeah.
and even if a lot of companies will do like free quotes, right?
Mhm.
I did not. I would charge people money to go look at their job.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. I think it's stupid not to.
Yeah.
Um, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna walk through, oh, well, here's what we gotta do, and they're like writing, okay.
And then they call their
And then they call their
favorite
cousin.
electrician, like, "Hey, this is what needs done."
Yeah, they call their cousin who owns a screwdriver and says, "Can
Yeah.
you pull this off?"
Right.
And it's not the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty big on like training people. I like teaching
Yeah.
this. I don't want to teach like high school, but
Right.
I like teaching apprentices and that kind of stuff. Uh, I like to train homeowners and just
Okay.
tell them like, "Hey, here's some basic things you can do,
Yeah.
so you don't have to hire me at X amount of dollars to do something that's not hard, that
Right.
you are capable of with very, very basic tools and very, very basic information."
So how often have you gone in to, like, to do a job or, like, a service job and you get there and you're just like, "If this person had any kind of electrical
Yeah,
knowledge, like, I shouldn't have to be here, but I'm here, so I'm
right.
gonna do the job and I'm gonna send them the bill," but
I'm gonna send you the bill that we agreed on.
Y
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's and again, different world because it's not. I'm not the as a good term for it. I'm not the business owner.
Right.
Um, I had a I had a funny habit that would kind of irritate a lot of the electricians back in my hometown where I was doing business. Is I would do free work for little old ladies,
Mhm.
or if I was at the electrical supply store buying some parts and somebody came in and said, I need a thing that does this because I don't know how to do this, I
Mhm.
would just tell them how to do it.
Yeah.
And I would say, "This is the part you need. This is exactly how you do it. It's easy."
Yeah.
And all the other contractors like, "You jerk." They
Yeah,
were
you
gonna they
we
were
just
if they
lost
couldn't
money.
figure that, "Yeah, you just lost money." And I'm like, "You just watch." And
Yeah.
I within 10 minutes or a couple of days, I've had it happen within like 10, 15 minutes. That person, I'll give them my card too when I
Yeah.
tell them how to do it, and they
Yeah.
don't have to hire anybody.
Yep.
Sometimes people are just like, "Okay, you made this sound really easy and I just don't know. Can you just come do it for me?" And
Mhm.
I'm like, "Absolutely, for
Yep.
this amount of money."
Yeah.
It it worked so well, and I'm not, like, manipulating people. I'm like, "Look, I'm telling you the truth." I would never, like, lie to somebody and tell you, "Here's something you could do," and it screw up your house so that I get money. No.
Right.
I'll tell you
Right.
exactly how to do it in the right way.
Yeah.
But, people are scared of power, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah,
is,
rightly so.
yeah, sometimes.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe
A
that
lot
was
of
in
people
ignorance what I just said.
I
How often
mean,
are we afraid of things that we don't need to be afraid of when we're talking
I'm
electric?
afraid of propane. I
Really?
found it. Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing RV life right now, and
Uh-huh.
I had to fix some stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to mess with this."
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You mess with like scary power." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not the same thing."
Yeah.
And everything kind of has its order of operations for being like safe and thorough. And I know my order of operations.
Mhm.
I don't know everybody's order of operations.
Right.
So it's just a new thing.
How
But
many
yeah,
times have
it's
you shocked yourself?
oh yeah, we don't need to do that. uh, so I have a pretty bad habit of working hot,
Sure.
uh, or working on it live,
Yeah.
and it just depends on this circumstance, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, I would say like your standard 120 volts that is coming from your wall outlet, charging your phone or your computer
Mhm.
every day for the past decade.
That
Like,
that's a way higher number than I expected.
you, you were expecting, I don't know, like 5 or 6.
Well, I was
Uh,
thinking, like, maybe, like, yeah, maybe tens or dozens of times, not,
yeah, I mean, for me, circuits are easier to figure out if they're on.
Sure.
So, you got to have the testing equipment and stuff like that. Sometimes some dumb stuff happens,
Uh-huh.
like you're just clumsy and you touch two wires. It happens.
Yeah.
I would never do it on a oven circuit, a 240 volt by like 50 amp.
Yeah.
Never. I would never work that live. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Um, I got hit by 277 volts in a commercial site one time. That's one leg of a three-phase 480 system.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know what hurt more, if it was getting I was on like a 12-foot ladder too, which made it
Uh-huh.
worse. I don't know if it was getting hit by the voltage or my like punching the brick wall behind me, just trying to get away from that voltage. They were both
Mm.
pretty bad.
Yeah, okay.
Um, so yeah, there's some scary stuff out there, man.
Yeah.
If you ever think about like you're in mine country, I'm from mine country. They
Uh-huh.
have like 60,000 volt systems on these mines
Right.
where you're not gonna it's not gonna go, "Owie, dang, that really hurt. Ooh, my boo boo." It's
Right.
gonna disintegrate you.
Right.
There will be nothing left.
Be vaporized.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a nice distinction and a segue I can make for there. Most electrical license that are not like specialty high voltage
Uh-huh.
stops at 600 volts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's home for me.
Yeah.
I'm way okay with that.
Yeah.
Um, Even linemen, that are utility guys that are, even if they're bringing wires to your house, I have no interest in that kind of work.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm scared. I'm a big wuss.
Yeah.
After telling you, I've been shocked like thousands of times.
Right.
It's not the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely a hazard. Uh, I don't know. I don't think it's good or bad or whatever. It's just down to it's your own fault most of the time.
Right. Yeah, that's really interesting. I asked that because I know a few electricians, and that working hot, seems to be fairly common.
It's pretty common. I think it's way more common than anyone would ever say.
Yeah,
That's a funny funny joke with homeowners. They're like, "Do you want me to turn the breaker off?" And you just grab the wire, right?
yeah.
Because if you know the basic theory, so like I'll ask you, what does it take for you to get shocked?
I had to
Say
complete
say say
complete
you
the circuit.
touch. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
So if you go and touch a black wire that's in an outlet,
Uh,
you're not going to get shocked. That's not
yeah,
what's going to happen. What needs to happen is you need to become grounded,
yeah.
right? So you become grounded. Yeah, you're going to get hit. You touch your neutral conductor is a grounded conductor, and then
Mhm.
your bare wire and your outlet's a grounding conductor. Those are both grounded. So those, that mixture of the black wire and any other wire is going to hurt.
Yeah,
Any one by themselves, that's just not how it works.
yeah, yeah. That actually was it kinda leads me into my next question, and you kinda answered it, but I feel like there's probably a lot of directions you could go here, but, like, what's something in your world that you observe or experience or, like, see a lot of that most people just have no idea, don't realize or are just oblivious to, um, and carry on living their lives
Yeah.
in ignorance of something that you see all the time and that you can't not see?
Uh, Something that you can't see would be something like just because something works doesn't mean it works right.
Oh, okay.
Um, so in the 70s through the 90s, your outlets that you put in your house, right? We'll just keep it residential because that's pretty easy for anyone to see.
Mhm,
Um, you could take an outlet out of the wall, and there'll be little holes in the back that you stick the wire in.
mhm,
There's a little spring in there that just holds the wire.
mhm.
That's the scariest freaking thing in the world to me, because springs wear down over time,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of hazards, fires, shocks, stuff like that happens because of a loose connection.
Mhm.
That's the reason we have torque spec on everything.
Yeah.
So let's say you lose a neutral, a white wire comes loose of an outlet. There's no pathway back to the source, right?
Mhm.
So say you start pulling a bunch of current there, that can actually cause a fire.
Yeah.
So that's something that like nobody would know
Right.
until, hey, I don't either my house is on fire or
Yeah.
hey, my this circuit's not working.
Yeah.
And that's whenever, we would show up and say we were doing a safety check. This is something we do is like we charge a fee for a safety check. We come look at a bunch of stuff, tell you about like what the electrical of your house looks like,
Hmm.
and then give you some options on like here's what we could do. Here's like the best thing we could do. If you can't really swing that, like here's like the bare minimum we could do, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just replacing outlets or switches is such a huge thing
Hmm.
because not only are we putting it in a device that's never been abused and used,
Mhm.
um, a lot of times you'll find every outlet in a house is backstabbed, right?
Okay, yeah.
And it's just bad. It's
Yeah.
no good. People still do it, and not people I like to think are good at what they do,
Yeah.
but it's still a thing that exists. Um, Things that you can see would be more like I guarantee you've watched people like me without knowing it at the time. But
Mhm.
go to Costco sometime and look for the guy that's looking up.
Okay.
You'll find him.
Yeah.
He's there. He's always there. Because every time I'm there, I'm looking up.
Okay.
Because we will look at things like pipe work in big
Okay.
open buildings like that. You can see people's like with pipe you got to bend it with this big bender thing, and some people are pretty bad at it. But
Okay.
some
So that's what
people
you
are.
notice is when it's not a good.
I notice it regardless, but it's
Okay.
either like, man, that guy was really good,
Uh-huh.
or that guy had no business doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
But if you go to a Applebee's, anything like that, look around next time. Now that I've said it, you're gonna look up and you're gonna
I'm
be
gonna
like,
look
"Oh,
it
hey,
up.
that's what he's talking about." But
Yep.
two, you're gonna find some dude, and he might be wearing like an IBEW shirt, and
Uh-huh.
he's gonna like looking at the pipes. Those
And you're
those are
like,
like
"I know
things.
what he's
This,
doing."
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's like the trade dad thing that happens too. There's memes about it. It's like you drive around with your kids, and it's just like, I worked on that house.
Oh,
I
yeah.
work I worked on that. I built that Starbucks, stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So
Yep.
that's another one that's very real.
Yeah. That is really funny because I feel like yeah, that's a really common thing in trades or anything that's, like, remotely related to contracting. I have a buddy who's in fire protection, and I've literally been in the car with him before, and he's literally been like, "I sprinkled that building." Or we'll walk into somewhere, and be like, "Those sprinkler heads aren't in the right spots," or
Yeah,
whatever. And so that's
that's
funny,
not
like, that
code
seems
compliant. Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah, that just seems really consistent across trades. That's very
Oh
funny.
yeah. I think we might be like the most pretentious people,
Yeah.
for a good reason,
Sure, yeah,
for having like a high standard.
right,
But anywhere you go, you can see things that will make you, if you know what you're looking for, things that'll make you just cringe,
yeah.
or be excited, or be like, man, somebody did a really good job.
Somebody bent that pipe so well.
Yeah, so good. Or every time you open up an electrical panel, there's sometimes there's just wires everywhere, and it's this big mess, and you can't tell where anything's going or coming. It's just
Mhm.
huge, horrible. And then other times you'll open one and all the wires are laced in like perfectly.
Some
And
nice cable management.
yeah, it's very much cable management world.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
like that. I like looking at pictures of those where it's like every wire is the exact length that it needs to be to get to its
yeah.
spot, and it just looks nice and tidy.
Another kind of niche thing that I do is like, I won't use the word network engineer, but like network technician. If
Uh-huh,
you do like data rooms, right?
uh-huh.
Distribution from network switches out, you'll have these big bundles of like Cat 6. There'd be like hundreds of them,
Mhm.
and they're all just like laced in perfectly on ladder racks and stuff. That is just mm,
Yeah, thing of
beautiful.
beauty. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, take me through give me a nightmare day and then a perfect day in your world, what those look like.
They can kind of be the same, because sometimes, like, for me, a nightmare day means I'm getting a big paycheck. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes I had to think about that for a second, but okay,
yeah,
yeah, I'm tracking.
yeah, yeah. A nightmare day is, uh, I mean, for me, would be like there's nothing to fix. But
Mm,
say like a nightmare day for a customer.
mhm.
Um, hey, I have a outlet that doesn't work, or I turned on my blender and it blew up. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a big deal. Something that could be stupid simple, or it could be
Mhm.
like a really big deal.
Yeah.
Um, you could walk in, pull out the outlet, realize that the wire is completely melted in the box, right? We can't just fix it.
Yeah.
You can't fix it. You can't like extend the wire. None of that. That doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
you cut out the box, and then you realize that the wire is burnt more in the wall all the way through. That circuit is completely toast. There is no rectifying the situation. The only
Yeah.
option is to run something new,
Yeah.
right? So okay, you go through the proper channels and like pull a permit, and the inspector says, hey, that's an old Zinsco panel. You can't do anything to it except replace it.
Oh
These
my
are very
gosh.
real things that happen regularly.
Yeah.
So now the customer went from a whatever hundred or a couple $100 job to like $12,000 job,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It can be insane. And me, like, I get to be kind of devil's advocate, because I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make money off
Yeah.
of the bummer that you are living right now.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry
that's
that I'm smiling, but
that's how we do.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like you once what is it? It's like uh your stock options went bonkers because you had money in war bonds.
Right.
Are you bummed out? Probably not.
Right.
So, um, you know, things can just add up really quickly.
Mhm.
For me, as the technician being on a job, here I'm running into it a lot more. back in New Mexico, a nightmare for me would be like, hey, we have X amount of work to do. It's going to be like 4 hours. It's going to be in the attic all day.
Yeah, you're
That's
like, "I'm gonna
hell.
melt." Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna melt. There was
yeah,
a HVAC guy in Phoenix that died like this summer. It was
yeah,
crazy just because it
yeah,
was hot.
yep.
That's nuts. Me, I don't really like creepy crawlies. I'm a pretty tough dude, but spiders, I'm not a
We're
fan.
out on spiders, yeah.
Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah,
So,
this podcast officially does not endorse spiders.
yeah,
Just to get that out there.
I'll take a very anti-spider stance
Yep,
and
yep, I'll stand
stand
on
on
that.
business.
Yep.
For me, here, most things there. People have attics here, but there's a lot more two-story houses here than I'm used to,
Mm,
which means that there's a ton of crawl spaces, and that's how
mm,
you get your HVAC and your water lines and stuff where they need to be.
yeah,
When I have to get a wire from point A to point B, it's like 80 feet, and there's like I'm not a small person if it's not obvious. Like I'm 6 foot, I'm like 275, 280.
uh,
Um, if their crawl space is about 12 inches total, I'm going like full marine, like army crawl through this thing. It's just not great. It's a
yeah,
bad time. I don't
gosh.
want to do it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna do it because it's my job, and
yeah,
I want your house fixed.
yeah,
But I'm not happy about it.
right.
um, Same thing. Everybody makes mistakes, and a big one that has happened to me before that is like such a huge bummer is like damaging somebody's house. Right?
Mm,
It's a
yeah,
very real thing that happens.
yeah.
Um, you go to cut a hole in the wall and you think it's in the perfect spot to get your wire up, and guess what? It's right on a stud. Now they have to hire somebody to patch drywall.
Mm,
I could
mhm.
try. It's not going to look good.
Yeah.
It's going to be very obvious that somebody who sucked at drywall did this.
Did this, yeah,
That's a bummer.
yeah,
So these are like the things that are hell on me,
yeah,
not just somebody's having a bad day, somebody else. These are like
yeah.
my things. I've
No one wants to
drilled.
have a tradesman in their house, and the tradesman goes, "Oh, crap."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Something. Um, I have absolutely uh, knocked holes in people's walls on
Yeah,
accident. Um, here's another cool segue thing. Electricians have these drill bits. I actually left one in our dungeon master's house. It was like I lost like $80 just leaving it there.
oh,
Our drill bits can be like 8 feet long, and
oh,
they're
dang.
flexible, so you can like cut a hole in the wall but still drill, like bend it and drill through the top of your wall. It's
Oh,
really
that's
cool
cool.
stuff.
Yeah,
But you got to be good at it. And
yeah.
before I was good at it, I put a hole in probably like a $4 million house and had to tell them that they needed to hire somebody to fix it.
Oh my gosh.
That sucked. It was a bummer, but it's something that happens.
Yeah,
And this is why things like insurance and bonding,
exist. Yeah,
they
yeah,
all exist for a reason. That
yeah,
it's not like, oh, I have to take, like a huge cut of pay and not have profit because of this stupid thing.
right.
So yeah, there's definitely some nightmare things that can happen on both sides of that.
Yeah,
Um, I think the biggest one all comes down to money, and it's not like a big
mhm,
like the main thing, but if you're working with somebody and you have two very different ideas of what needs to happen,
mhm,
and that can be some pretty bummer stuff happen there.
yeah,
One of my first, again, I'm with a new company. I'm getting to know these people and like how they deal with stuff and their processes. One of my first jobs, it wasn't like I did something wrong, but I did it in a way that was different than they had planned, which took me more
mhm,
time. So
mhm,
it's like a job was bid at X amount of hours, and it took me longer because I didn't know their process.
right.
That's a bummer of a day
Yeah.
because I take stuff like that pretty hard because I don't want to be like the I don't what's a good word? I don't want to be like the short link or whatever they call it.
Right.
I don't want to use another term that I do know because it's probably racist.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't you
I'll say the
we
the
could
the chink in the chain. You
Oh,
heard
yeah,
that?
yeah. Okay, okay,
Yeah, I
gotcha.
don't. I try not to say
I
things
think
like
it's in the
that.
armor.
I
Yeah.
don't know, something like
I don't
that.
know.
The
Yeah, something
chainmail,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
something along
armor.
those lines.
Um,
Okay, well, what's a perfect day look like? Show up to the job and you're like, "Wow, everything is perfect." What's that look like?
a perfect
Does
day
it
for me
exist in your world?
a perfect day, would be we had 10 calls, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's like bare minimum 10 hours, even if they take me 30 seconds each, like full like
Yeah.
1 hour minimum call out at
Okay, yeah.
X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
And they say my garage isn't working and the breaker is not tripped.
Uh-huh.
It's my favorite call in the whole world because it's the thing I talked about earlier with the GFCIs being at the breaker panel now, right?
Yeah.
There's a GFI in every garage if it's code compliant.
Yeah.
And GFIs can go bad. They can trip if there is a ground fault, and
Mhm.
people will like put stuff in front of them.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's my
Yeah.
favorite thing because I go okay, and I move some stuff, and I push a button, and everything boots right back up.
Yep.
And I say, "You have yourself a nice day. I'll get you an
Yeah.
invoice."
Yep.
That's a beautiful day. Don't
Mm.
even need any tools.
Yeah.
Go
Just
through and push some buttons and charge a bunch of money
press the little button, yeah.
and make a bonus. Yeah, it's great.
Right.
Um, I, on the other side of thing, even if it's like not an easy day, uh, a good day is just fixing somebody's problems that nobody else could.
Yeah.
Um, I think that I'm like somewhere in the middle of like a really cocky person
Mhm.
and like a humble person. Like on some things, I'm real man. Like I get imposter syndrome, and I'm like, I'm just not that good or whatever. And other things, I'm like, "Pff, I'm better than any of you people.
Yeah.
It's a strange dichotomy.
Yeah.
Um, but I love fixing things that 3 electricians have been to before and couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing, and I
Yeah.
don't think that is so much to be like, "Ha, I'm so much better than you," but it's like that's such a huge like, wow, like nobody else could do this. It's like
Yeah.
the I don't
This was
know.
a big problem and I was
It's
able
like
to
the
solve it.
closest thing I'll ever be to like a genius.
Right.
Like, it's not like the same as Elon being like, "I send rockets to space," and I'm like, "Okay, cool, man."
Yeah.
But like, oh yeah, I just XYZ, I this is
Yeah.
what I thought it was, and that's what it was, great. Well, we
Yep,
had
that
like
was right.
six other people here that couldn't figure that out. I'm like, cool. They haven't experienced problems in the same way that I have.
Right.
It doesn't mean all those people suck. It
Right.
just, whatever the reason was, it doesn't matter. Maybe some of them did, I don't know, but that's one of my favorite things. And
Yeah.
usually in my experience, it's always for like sweet little old ladies, and they're like, "I've
Mhm.
tried for like 6 months. No one can fix my whatever." It's like,
And
oh,
then you're a hero.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. That's
Would
really
you like me
cool.
to make you some cookies?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yes. Christmas bonus already. It's great.
Yeah, easy. Awesome. Well, I don't wanna take up too much of your time here, so I'll just ask my bonus question, my final question, and I like to leave it pretty open-ended, and the question is, what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Usually my 5-year-old. Um,
Okay.
uh,
I can
none of
empathize with
us,
that.
my whole family is like anti morning people, man.
Mm,
We are not morning people. But the boy is like, hey, it's like 5:30. Why are we still sleeping?
yep.
It's nuts. Um, to speak to the poetic nature of your question, I have to be a provider. It's my job.
Mm,
It's my job more than any job. Is I have a wife and 2 kids that I've got to take care of.
mhm.
So I get up and I bust it
Yeah,
to make that happen.
yeah. Cool. That's good. Awesome. Well, that's Stuart Tow, electrician. What's another word that you would like to describe your profession?
Um, insert specialty here, technician works.
Okay. Okay.
Specifically, electrician's like a really great broad term.
Uh-huh.
You can throw master on there too. That's a good adjective right there.
Yeah, I like that. Master electrician. Awesome. Well, Stuart, I appreciate you taking the time, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks. It was fun.
All right.